Good morning, Strive for Change. I'm excited to come to you. A lot of you guys are new into this page and you're not sure what this Isagenix stuff is about and why you need to do it and why it's so great and why we all sound like we're so happy all the time. So I wanted to just kind of explain what Isagenix is in a nutshell and why it works and why it's so amazing. I've been doing it well over a year now, about 500 days, and it has rocked my world a lot in a lot of ways. I feel better than I have ever felt. I'm 42 years old. I feel like I'm 25. I haven't been sick one day since I started, not once. I travel all the time. No migraines anymore. And although we can never say that isogenic cures or fixes anything, when you are taking care of your body and flooding it with proper nutrition, miracles and magic happen. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We can't say that it cures or fixes anything. The reason Isogenic works so much, and I know get a lot of people that say, well, I like to eat food. Well, this girl loves food. I love pizza, I love pizookie and cookies, and I love all that stuff too. Or they'll say, well, I don't want to do another diet. If I go off of it, am I going to gain all my weight back? Totally valid questions. The reason why we need to supplement our diet at this point, and I was in the old school thinking that, real food is the way to go. Real food is the way to go. Just eat healthy and everything will be okay. And I agree with that in a lot of ways. However, the way our food sources are today and the way they were 15, 20 years ago are very, very different. If you haven't noticed, America and all over the world, we're getting heavier by the second. And we haven't really changed all that much except for, what they're putting in our food. So a lot of this isn't even our fault. Granted, some of us, including myself, make some not so great choices about what we choose to put in our body. However, when we are trying to do the deal and work out and be healthy and eat the right things, there's things in our food we don't even know about. There's hormones in our meats. A chicken breast today is probably this big compared to this big 15 years ago, and that's because they're injecting our chickens and our cows and all the other different meats with hormones. And as we ingest that, our body is getting those toxins. And our body's defense to toxins is to hold on to weight to protect it. Same thing with our vegetables even. They spray the grounds with herbicides and pesticides. And same thing, we're ingesting that. And by the time we get, lettuce, it doesn't have much nutritional value left because of what's been done to it and by the time we get it. So those kinds of things aren't our fault. There's also environmental stress. Um, we all over the place. There's fog and smog and ugh, and people smoking and all sorts of stuff, and that gets into us as we breathe in and out. Toxins, again, toxins make us hold on to weight and fat, especially visceral fat, which is around all of our organs, which is the most dangerous fat of all. And then there's stress. That was my big thing. And when I started Isagenix, I had so much stress in my life. And when we have stress, our cortisol levels get all thrown off. And again, our defense is to hold on to weight to protect it. And so all those things being said, when we try to eat healthy and we're ingesting that stuff, we're being counterproductive. And if a lot of you have tried, upping your exercise game and eating better, but you still can't lose that middle section, or you're just like, gosh, it's so frustrating. And I thought just being 40, like this is what 40 is like. It stinks. This sucks. It's a lot of work. And when I started Isagenix, I threw all of my old diet ways. I'm like, I'm not doing any diets. I just want to feel better. And within 30 days, within 4 days actually, I felt better than I had ever felt in my entire life. And so whether we really want to or not, we kind of have to supplement our diet. We're nutritionally bankrupt. And so that's what happens when we are nutritionally bankrupt because of all the stuff that's in our foods. We can't absorb a lot of the good stuff that's in our food anymore. So we're walking around nutritionally bankrupt. We're tired all the time, deficient. Our energy is at an all-time low. We're face planting about 3 p.m. when all of us need to be totally on our game. And what happens when we're nutritionally deficient is all of a sudden our cravings for things that aren't so great kick in. The unhealthy carbs, the sugars, the caffeine. All of a sudden we are like savages because we are starving. Our bodies are starving of nutrients. It may not be starving in our stomachs because we're putting stuff in our body, but our body is dying for nutrients. And so then we put things in our body that aren't so great. A lot of it not our fault. A lot of it's choice, but a lot of it is not our fault. Also, I've done every diet known to man. Most of you probably have tried one or two different diets to try and manage your weight. And although we have been able to lose weight on other diets, the HCG, the Jenny Craig, the other cleanses, I mean, name it, I've done it. Other than surgery, I've done it. And yes, we have lost weight. But if you notice, most of us gain it back and then some. And what happens when we release weight, usually we have to deplete our caloric intake to do that, leaving us more nutritionally bankrupt. And as we lose weight, we lose our lean muscle. And our lean muscle is what cranks our metabolism. And so when we lose that weight, yeah, we're feeling really good and woohoo, lost 20 pounds. And then we go and eat a little bit out of the norm. And then, slowly it creeps back on, or sometimes really quickly it creeps back on. And what happens is we gain that weight back, but it's not that pretty lean muscle we lost when we released the weight the first time. It's gained back as fat. And even though maybe the scale isn't as high of a number as before, all of a sudden our clothes don't fit anymore because fat takes up a lot more room than muscle does in our body. And so it's like this never-ending cycle, and that's where the yo-yo happens, and that's where the frustrations happen, and that's where most of us just say, I give up. I just give up. With Isagenix, when we release weight, we are getting all the nutrition we need. Our body is absolutely able to absorb all the proteins and all the nutrients that are in our shakes, and that's why they're so great. And that's why, without fail, I'm putting 2 of those in my body a day, and then I can go ahead and kind of eat whatever I want for the most part because I'm in maintenance mode. I don't always like how I feel when I do that, but I've never once felt like I'm on a diet, and it's great. It's the most freedom I've ever had in my life, and after I'd say a good 35 years of playing this insanity in my head, trying to manage my weight and health, the freedom in the last 500 days is great. And the reason that Isagenix works is because we are absorbing all the nutrients, so we're not having the cravings for the not so great things. We're not being as naughty as we normally would have been. We're walking around with energy, and we're sleeping better. And because we're sleeping better, we're rebuilding our bodies, and everything is starting to move a lot better. And the difference with Isagenix and other programs and diets and fads and whatever we do, as we're releasing weight, we're gaining lean muscle because our bodies are able to absorb all those nutrients. So even though the scale may not move as fast as some of you like, I want you to throw the scale away. It is irrelevant. It is just a number. Because as that's happening, as we're, some of us are releasing some weight. Some of us need to lose a lot of weight. Some of us don't. But as you release weight, the difference with Isagenix and any other diet or program is we are gaining lean muscle at the same time. And lean muscle is what cranks our metabolism. Lean muscle takes up a lot less space under our skin than fat does. And so pull out that tape measure. That is your real truth. Put on a pair of jeans or a bathing suit, and that will be your real truth. Throw away the scale. But in the process, not only are you getting a more lean, muscular-looking body, even at 42 years old, your metabolism is gaining steam and it is cranking. And I have not been genetically blessed with good metabolism. Weight in my family is an issue. I've struggled my entire life, and for the first time ever, I am not having that insane, crazy train park itself in my world. So that's a little bit about why we need to have Isagenix in our bodies, and the vitamins and the shakes, and cleansing is super duper important. All those toxins I talked to you about in the beginning. The way we release those toxins is through our cleansing process. It's a cellular cleanse, not a poopy cleanse. It cleans all those toxins out of our bodies so we don't hold on to the fat anymore. And that's how we release the weight that we need to, because the toxins no longer rent space in our bodies anymore. So if you are new here or you haven't jumped on the ISA train yet, that is why you need to. It is amazing. You're going to feel and look better than you ever have in your entire life. And not only that, you're going to walk around with a little extra bounce in your step. You're going to be smiling a lot more, and everybody's going to want to know, what the heck are you doing? It's a nice problem to have. So that's a little bit about why we need to be on Isagenix and why it's so wonderful for all of you that are new. Welcome to Strive for Change. Have a great day.